What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik, and I'm coming to you with a video. It's a little different than just about any video I've brung on the channel at any other time. But this is something that straight up disturbed me today while I was watching this clip, and it came from TG So Good. He does a lot of the PC mods, but he posted this on Twitter, and I saw it, and I'm telling you, it straight up disturbed me. All right, everybody, leave a like. Don't leave a like for what happened in this video. Just leave a like just to show appreciation for me if you dig the video at all, if you dig with the channel. Subscribe and also click the notifications bell. So I'm going to set this up. This happened in a JBA game, which is LeVar Ball's league. And it's happened with the Chicago team, my city. All of the teams are called Ballers, but this is the Chicago Ballers. And it's a head coach interacting with a player. And I'm going to just roll this, and I'm going to even let the audio play, which is something I generally wouldn't do. But I'm going to let the audio play, and there is some language in here that you normally wouldn't see on my channel. But I'm going to let it play and let you hear everything so that you can get get the full grasp of what's going on here.
The league, and we appreciate the support, showing up game after game after game after game. Big shout out to all of you all watching at home.
Hey, that's my bad, I guess. Get the fucking ball. Stop being a bitch. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, huh? What the fuck you gonna do? Hey.
I'm gonna tell you, this legit had me hot, for real. So on the screen, this is the head coach who was doing the bullying and the abuse, Edward Denard, and the player was Montrell Dixon. Now, I don't throw that bullying word around as freely as everybody else. I think sometimes it gets slapped on things that maybe, I wouldn't necessarily call it that. But this is 100% what this is, right? There's no other way to describe this, right? So I'm letting it go in slow motion. Now, I mean, I was legit mad because all I'm thinking about is if that was my son, right? Because Montrell Dixon, I believe, is 20. The head coach is only like 26 or 28. I looked up his information. I'm going to put it on the screen in a second. But that's all that is. And I understand a lot of people come from the old school or whatever, but this kid doesn't come from the old school. I'm talking about the head coach. He's a kid too. He doesn't come from the old school. This is a lack of self-control. And even if it was the old school, I didn't like it then. I didn't like it when Bobby Knight was doing it, when Woody Hayes would do it, or nobody. You don't put your hands on a kid like that. And you definitely don't get up in his face, headbutting him, talking about what you gonna do, what you gonna do. I mean, dude, some of this stuff, I mean, really? Like, is that what it is? Like, to me, in my opinion, Montrell had just every right to clock dude in the face, but obviously he was afraid and intimidated. Now this is Edward Denard. I had to look him up. I had to see where this guy came from. So he's 6'6", but so is Montrell is Dixon. He went to Foreman High School, which is on the west side of Chicago. I'm from the south side, and the dude averaged 1.8 points a game, 0.2 assists, 2.6 rebounds, 0.6 steals, 0.3 blocks. Now, it wouldn't have mattered if he was Michael Jordan. His behavior is still out of pocket. And I'm just trying to tell you, see, okay, let me put this into perspective why this kind of made me as mad as it made me. Because I used to work at a group home, right? And I used to work with kids with, all types of abuse. I mean, I had a kid who didn't even know how old he was. He thought he was 14 all the way up, and he didn't know when his birthday was. He thought his birthday was like September 7th, and and come to find out, like when he's like 12 years old, he finds out it's like September 11th because his mother gave him away, and he didn't really know. He didn't have any idea who his father was. I'm talking about kids who had been assaulted. I had a kid that was a neo-Nazi, but by the time he left us, you know, you wouldn't even know that none of that was even a part of him. You know, all kinds of stuff, you know, all types of abuse. And then I've dealt with a lot of kids who have been like abused in these peer like relationships, or been abused in other types of situations. And that right there, that type of bullying and intimidation is kind of what sets a person up to be abused, or if they have already been abused. Because people who are bullies and have a predatory type of a demeanor and disposition and way about them, they have an antenna, they have a radar, they know who to pick. Because believe you me, I know that coach is a big guy or whatever, and he fashions himself as this tough dude or whatever. But believe you me, he knows who to pick. Because there's some young players that there's no way in the world he would have done that with. Because if he had pulled that with them, either they was going to steal on him, they were going to hit him with a chair, or whoever they brought to that game with them was coming out of them stands. All them dudes they used to run with, or they still run with, was coming out of them stands as soon as they saw him get in his face. But he knew that that dude, that kid, wasn't one of those kids, and that's why he picked him. And that's the part that pisses me off more than anything at all. It's insane. And I haven't even touched on how unprofessional it was. Like, beyond all that, I'm just talking about from one man to another man, or from one older guy to a younger guy. You're supposed to be a coach. You're supposed to be in a mentoring type of a capacity, and that's what you're doing. You absolutely abusing your authority, absolutely abusing your position. You know, and I know he's a relatively young man too, and he's got a lot to learn. But the lesson he would learn if I was in charge is that you're not coaching this team anymore. And the lesson he would learn if that was my son after he woke up is that you never, ever, ever do that to a young guy. That was insane, ridiculous. I had to share that. I mean, I'm almost not even on the entertainment aspect with this. So generally I'd ask for y'all's comments and stuff like that. But, you know, it just is what it is. That was lame. That was some garbage. And he needs to be held accountable for it. As always, I talk sports and I talk gaming. And I always appreciate you watching. God bless. Peace.
How could I be weak? I'm rather unique.